Showtime. What is going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Where I am, it is gloomy, rainy, windy, cold. So I hope no one is going through that. I got a fun one for you. Usually they are with the new comic book and Spec show. So I thank you guys for joining. I'm going to bring in the legend, my Canadian brother from Quebec. If you don't know where that is, it's literally the province right beside me. But Mr. Hyper. What's going on, brother?
Bro, how you call me a legend when I just been on YouTube for less than a month?
Hey, man, when people put out good information, I always just say, you know what?
I feel like you're setting this audience up for disappointment by really talking me up so much. Now I feel like I gotta deliver.
No, man, you're good. You're good. Trust me, you're good. You're good. People love you. You put out good information. You know your shit. So, I appreciate you for joining me.
Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, man, absolutely. The door is always open for you, so I appreciate you. I think this is what, week 4?
Week 4? Must be week 4. I think it's week 4, yeah.
Yeah. So we do have 2 of our panel members missing.
Mm-hmm.
We have Mr. Sleeveless in Seattle, Mr. P Issues. He is not joining us today. And then we have the other legend, Mr. Information, Mr. Knowledge, Mr. FaceTime.
Has he ever missed a show? Because I don't think he's ever missed a show before.
FaceTime, I think one or two, but he also has a rotation in his work with nights. Right. So you have to respect the hustle. You got to respect the grind.
For sure.
You got to work a night shift. You just got to work a night shift. So
you need those funds to buy them books.
Exactly. So so it's just going to be 2 of us today. Hopefully everybody gets good information. I hope everybody's ready. Obviously, the big event this week is King in Black.
Mm-hmm.
There's some news of a secret variant. You actually kind of not shouted out, but you kind of got to me about the information. So I do have an image for it. I was able to load it up. Like we were saying off the show, I mean, I don't think it's an overwhelming week. There is a lot of good stuff, but I think everything's going to be overshadowed with that King in Black. So,
yeah, for sure.
If you can't get any of these books, I mean, hey, there's always next week, second market, things like that. But hopefully you've done your research, you've done your work, and you guys are ready. Everybody in the chat, I thank you for joining me. I just want to throw something out there, okay? Because I think somebody's going to say it, maybe Raider Bear or something like that. I'm an Eagles fan. They're on prime time, and I choose the exact time to go live. So I'm not really showing my true colors to Philly, but, it is what it is.
See, the thing is, I don't follow football, so I can't really throw much shade at you like FaceTime can. So you're good. You're good tonight.
Maybe that's why Face isn't really here. He's not working. He's watching.
He's watching the game.
Yeah, I think that might. But nevertheless, before we start, I always like to give a shout out to the chat, everybody joining us. So we got
for sure.
One Talk. What's going on, Kev? Bricks. Actually, Bricks, I heard you picked up a book that I had spec'd on and that I actually am having a hard time finding. It's that first Avril
Kincaid.
Man, I always think of that name. So congratulations on getting that book, man. I'm seeing a little bit of rise in price, so hopefully that investment works out for you.
You gotta stop shouting out these books on your shows, then.
Yeah,
you're
I know, man, but I always try to give the information out.
It's all about that comic karma.
Yeah, that's how the community should be. I always feel like I'll give this information out, and then somebody will be like, "Hey, newbie," I'll walk into their store and be like, "Hey, newbie, here's the book you were talking," something like that.
I feel you.
Sparks, always a pleasure, brother. Andre. Boom, Sith Lord, Raider Bear, Southern Comic Geek. What's going on? One of my favorite people, Magic Lasso. Dear Santa, I want hair like noobs. Honestly, man, my hair grows so quick. This is week 3.5, 4. I got to get another haircut. But yeah,
tough during these lockdown periods.
4-way flashers, what's going on? And everybody else joining. Joel, thank you for joining. It's always weird because like my name is Joel, it's Joel, but Joel. So anytime I see another Joel, I'm like, hey, Joel, but it always comes off a little weird.
It's like the multiverse.
Yeah. Well, guys, let's get ready. Let's get into new comics today. I'm pretty excited. I usually look forward to these chats. So let's get it on. So we'll start with Image, everybody's favorite. I think the winner here this week is, I mean, they got 2 books and then obviously The Walking Dead, but we're going to start with Dead Body Road, Bad Blood, number 6, end of the story, end of the road. Oh, excuse me. Not going to lie to you, I haven't picked up a lot of.
Neither have I. Neither have I.
Yeah. We got Firepower, number 6. Now I think
that's a pickup for sure. That's on my pull and continue to pick that up.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is Robert Kirkman behind it, and from what we know, he does have big plans for the series. So my advice is, if you haven't picked it up and you're on the fence, try to even grab issue 1, because it's still out there. I was able to actually find it this past week. They are kind of drying up a bit. So, like these series, especially with Kirkman's Image series in the past, like Invincible, Walking Dead, not so much die, but usually when those series get really good, those number 1s are going to be sought after. So I would definitely be on the jump, since we're only on issue 6 for this.
I still have people message me and tell me, man, I still got that freebie, because when it first came out, a lot of people were a little confused. A lot of people were saying, hey, no, it's the freebie you need to get. And then a lot of people were saying, no, it's number 1. I'm seeing a lot of people who are selling them. They're selling them as a pack. So I think you might see that moving forward in the selling market if you are trying to pick it up.
I mean, in terms of the release date, the free comic book day issue and that thick graphic novel, those came out at the same time. And then the actual regular cover price, number 1 came out after. But I mean, I think most people know that the free comic book day issue has the same content as the issue number 1.
Preview, yeah.
So I would say grab them both just to hedge your bets. Why?
Yeah,
I mean,
I learned this from Mel V, Drunken Chat, who, by the way, free shout out, one of my favorite dudes in the comic community. But after taking 2 weeks off, he will be officially back on this Friday at midnight. So make sure you guys go join him. I might hop on depending how I feel. But he always told me, because we had that, not a bad debate, but you just have that debate. Year Zero had the exact same thing. There was that one shot that was basically a previews, and people were selling that at the same price of Year Zero plus the variant. Because I remember I had 2 copies and I ended up selling both of them, I think, for like $60 Canadian. And some people were selling that one shot for like $50-$60, which I thought was ridiculous, because yes, it's a previews and it came out first, but it's not like the whole story. You know what I mean? So a lot of people were getting a little bent out of shape with like these preview books coming out, and then like the first issue, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like that's like the market we're living in. It seems like everyone's specking on anything and everything. I mean, you would, in the past, these preview magazines are stuff that you just read them and then chuck them because they're just taking up space in your shelf. Exactly. Now it's like I'm having second thoughts, like shit. Like I was actually cleaning out my inventory and I'm like, I have all these stacks of previews. I was just gonna toss them, but I'm like, damn, what if this becomes like one of those like Marvel previews that heats up?
What's crazy is I've had that conversation with Keys actually about free comics and like just those previews where I'm like, I kind of want to pick them up because you don't know, but then like I have one, I had like the Tick, and then I had one of those like Invincible ones. Like I had like 4 or 5 of them, and there was another one that I picked up. I think it was like End of the World Residence or something like that. And I was like, man, why am I holding these? Like this is garbage. And then as soon as I'm about to throw them out, I'm like, but wait, what if
you get that?
You don't know, right? So
you start getting FOMO for your trash.
Dude, I know guys that were throwing out oh shit, what book was it? It'll come to me, but there was guys throwing out this book and then they were like, oh shit, I gotta go get it. That Ronin one. That's the one.
The Ashcan
Ronin one. A lot of people were just like chucking that. I seen a few. Yeah.
And I'm actually looking for that one at a decent price. I mean, but they're throwing them.
We can talk.
Oh yeah. I remember you got those copies.
Yeah, I got a few. We got I hate how Previews does this. They have the paperbacks and all that shit. We got that Texas Blood number 6. that's a series that was hot. I think I said this last time. You know, it had a strong start, but I don't think that it's keeping up. I think it's like kind of just getting a little.
Is this an ongoing or is it a mini? Do you know?
Number 6. I think it might be a mini. Yeah, it is because it's end of the story arc, I guess. So yeah, that's it.
Okay.
It's also mind blowing to me seeing in shops December 2nd. I can't believe we're going to be in December as of tomorrow. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, man. It's coming up fast. Christmas is only like a few weeks away.
Whoa. Let's calm down. We have Unearthed number 8. Cool-ish cover, I guess, but I don't know anything about the story arc. So if anybody in the chat is following the story, I apologize. You know, I don't know anything about this story arc.
Yeah.
The other thing that's probably hot this week is, you know, I mean, even though Walking Dead is kind of over, I mean, there's still those crazy fans that will pick it up. Obviously, they still got the books, but you got Walking Dead number 4. You got 4 covers.
Yeah, I'm actually grabbing 2 of those just because I kind of like good connecting covers, and that Adler cover, and also the what's the cover on the bottom?
That is the Atoms.
Atoms, yeah, they both are actually a connecting piece. So I like it when a connecting set looks nice. So I'm actually grabbing those 2, but I'm probably gonna stop the series after the first 6 issues.
And this is the other one you're getting, right? This one?
Yeah, exactly. The Adler cover.
Yeah, that one looks dope. And that's it for Image. It's not a big week.
No. I think it's going to be like that for pretty much most of December, actually, when you actually look at the next few weeks.
Oh, this is awesome! I'm getting my
your
for my sport here.
Your play-by-play.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Andre. Let's go. Thank you. All right, we're going on to Dark Horse now. Let's go to view all here. We got a lot of just gibberish here. There's not much going on until we get to Hellboy and BPRD, Her Fatal Hour. You got 1, 2 covers that we can see, obviously. There's a few people that are still following Hellboy. I mean, he does have that, I don't know, that niche. I mean, there are people out there who are big on Hellboy, obviously still picking it up. So
that last movie didn't do him any favors, though.
No, wasn't there rumors that they were going to do another one or something? Like one was coming out. I mean, I know nowadays you could say a rumor about anything, but I think that just before COVID hit, that there was rumors of another Hellboy coming out.
No, I wasn't sure. Oh, what's up, Hoodrat?
Yo, I made it. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. Appreciate it.
He actually did a show yesterday also for New Comic Book Day, so definitely check his channel out at Team Nerd Herd. Good stuff there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've been following him since I think I started my channel, my Instagram. So nice to see him out, man, for sure. We got Overwatch.
I'm actually picking up this one just because I dug the game.
Well, which one? Because they got 1, 2.
You know what?
Covers.
When there's usually actually there's only 2 covers. I usually just go with cover A when I'm indecisive. So I'm just going with cover A for this one. I'm just picking those up just more out of curiosity.
That's usually the way to go, though. Yeah. Is the cover A route. I think a lot of people get not confused because grab whatever. I just know that there's a lot of people that sometimes when there is an A or B or an A and a variant, I mean, people are like, oh, it's got to be the variant, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's just get cover A, right? So
yeah, it really. I mean, but also it really depends what your goal is. I mean, if it's just for your PC, does it really matter which cover? But I mean, if you're looking at it for long-term spec or anything like that, I would always say grab cover A and then grab any of the other variants that you actually like.
Yeah, for me, I will say, and I think this is common with a lot of people in this community, I'm a sucker for good covers. Like there's covers that I love. There's books I have that are terrible covers, but those are more for spec. But if it's books that I really want to keep in the PC, I mean, I'm a cover guy. I love covers.
But the weird thing about this community is those terrible covers tend to also have some traction in the market because it's so bad. It has that niche to it.
I'm going to be doing a show actually on our Comic Talk, and I hope you can join for this one. This one's going to be in a few weeks, but I'm going to be doing like one of the talks of the worst covers, like the best worst covers kind of thing. And we're going to be talking about how just because they're so bad does make it. Like for one that comes up to mind is like the first appearance of Rogue. That Avengers Annual 10 is a horrible cover. There's so much.
Oh, okay. I thought when you said horrible, I thought you meant like visually it looks nasty or something.
No. Just like covers that you're like, oh my god, this is garbage. But,
like it doesn't do it justice. Yeah.
And I'm not hating on any artists or anything like that. It's just it's a fun topic to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
Now this is something that we were talking off air, I guess you could say. But we were talking about Spy Island. This is quickly gone by super quick. I remember talking about the first one, and I think I said to Face, I go, man, I love these covers. I love all of them that have come out. And it's already at the end of the show. Like, it's already at the end of the series. It's 4 out of 4.
Yeah.
I will say, you said that you like this cover B.
Just from a throwback.
I actually love it, man. Like, it looks like, that worn VHS.
I like that whole stain in the bottom just to really show it's like, from like a garage sale or something. Yeah, I dig it.
Right. And then, I'm not even going to lie. This one it's not the best cover in the series, but you know what? It's got that like cool, I don't know. It's just got something to it. I'm a sucker for black, so.
Yeah, hard to get a 9.8, but yeah.
I wonder how well that cover B is going to go. I'm not thinking that a lot of shops around us, I know we're in different provinces, but I don't think a lot of people here in Niagara have ordered that copy.
Well, even here, I mean, indie titles don't get ordered that much unless it's like a really popular series like Firepower or Walking Dead. I mean, Spy Island is getting up there, but I mean, I don't foresee a lot of shops, carrying a lot of copies of, especially the variant cover.
Yeah. I hope they don't just have that cover A, because I really dig that cover B.
Well, if they have the Bs, I would assume it's not going to be as many, unless they have unless there are some savvy shop owners that maybe have an idea and maybe up their orders on those. But you never know.
I gotta say, the series has gone by. Like how like you come across some books and you're like, wow, I haven't said this title in a while, or like you see, just as an example, right? You see like, oh, Avengers 6, and you're like, whoa, it's already been 6,
yeah.
Yeah, right. This one is one of those for me. Like I'm already at 4 out of 4. Like I remember talking about when the first one came out, and I was like digging it, and now it's at the end. I'm like, wow, it's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's. But also, I'm wondering if they're just pumping out, because I haven't followed the release date for Spy Island, but I'm wondering just because of the whole lockdown, if certain titles are kind of, narrowing their release windows to kind of catch up.
Yeah, that could be it. Especially with, not knowing if there's going to be another lockdown and things like that. So
yeah, man.
Yeah, that's where it gets a little scary, and a lot of people don't want to talk about that. But I mean, hey, if Diamond shuts down again, I mean, it's going to be a long winter, I guess.
Yeah.
Stranger Things. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 covers. Are you picking any of them up?
No, can't say I am.
Are you were you a fan of the show? A fan of?
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually waiting for the next season to come, because I mean, I was like I didn't grow up in the 80s. I was born in the 80s, but I mean, I kind of dug the whole 80s nod that they gave. So, and the show itself is just pretty awesome. So yeah, I think we're on the 4th season. Yeah, 4th season. So
what's happening, brother? Yeah, I'm gonna make a proclamation here. I guess is proclamation the right word? I don't know.
I don't know. Depends what you're gonna tell me next.
I've been trying to use new words as I've gotten older. I'm gonna be 32, so I'm trying to use the thesaurus and new words. But
yeah,
I am only on like episode 2 of Stranger Things.
Of season 1.
Season 1.
Like you didn't dig it, or you just?
It's just everybody was talking about it, and I was like just trying to catch up on different shows and things like that at the time, and I was just like. Whatever. And then, I was working like a dog, so I missed out on a lot. Like after working 18 hours, sometimes you're like, I don't know if I want to watch this
damn son
show, and then, go back to work, and, I don't know. So yeah, now that work's kind of slowing down and winter's coming, I made that promise of Star Wars, and I'm trying to get my girlfriend to actually watch. I think she's ahead on that series because I think she's seen.
When did you say you're gonna start watching the Star Wars movies again? Is
As
it during
of
the
this
call?
week, this week I will be. I don't know where I'm starting. I still haven't like understood what movie I'm supposed to watch
What if
first.
Face recommend? I know he told you.
Oh, he said skip a few. He said like shit. I think he said like 3, 5, 8, and something because he told me to skip a few. He's like, oh man.
Okay, so he wanted you to start from the originals and then go to the prequels, I guess.
I'm not 100%. Like I'm
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but like
No. I do remember this conversation because I actually remember telling him like, dude, you're gonna set him up for disappointment because he recommended that you started with the original that came out in the 70s, and then watch the prequels, which look, I mean, they are what they are. But yeah, like as most people would tell you, the originals were yeah. There you go, 4, 5, 6, the original movies.
Okay.
So I mean, personally, it's almost like you're watching like the creme de la creme, and then you're starting to scrape at the bottom after. So
Somebody had said to me, they go, oh, just don't start at Phantom Menace, I think it was, and I was like, all right, yeah, I won't. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, the way I look at it is, I mean, by the way, I'm not gonna crap on Phantom Menace like a lot of people, although I do find it does all that dialogue and all that does bring the movie down. But my opinion is like, why not set yourself up with a lower expectation, and then when you actually see the original movies.
I remember one of my favorite shows, and you know what, it is what it is. But one of my favorite shows is actually Big Bang because there's these like fun nerds. They talk comics and all that shit, and like they would always talk about Star Wars. And I remember there was one episode where Sheldon was like, "Oh, we gotta watch this one," because they did like their marathon or whatever. And then like Howard was like, "No, all they do is like talk for 3 hours in that like judgment whatever where they're I remember saying to, I think it was my girlfriend at the time, I was like, yeah, that's exactly why I don't watch those movies because they're boring like that. And and now I'll be watching them. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm curious to get your take on it. I mean, because that franchise definitely got very divisive fans, especially once Disney took over and made the last 3 movies. You'll have some people really liking it, but I think for the most part, people, resented what Disney kind of did to that franchise.
Sparks is saying, just curious on what order you think. Personally, I don't know. I was asking because I didn't know if I should start from like the first one from like what 77 or 74.
So the thing is, that's a tricky question because I know a lot of people in the chat and also Face, they were saying 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I would hold off on watching those. Maybe start off with at least the prequels, 1, 2, 3, and then watch 4, 5, 6. Just because there's 9 movies. If you're watching the top 3 movies and then you're gonna end off your marathon with the other 6, I'm afraid you might not make it.
Okay, this is the one question I need to ask because if I'm gonna do one a week, I have to know: are they like 3 hours long each?
No. Well, none of them actually go 3 hours, but you have them like probably pushing like 2 hours 15, 2 hours 30 minutes. But for the most part, I would.
That's not bad. That's not bad though.
None of them are less than 2 hours, but for the most part, they're like over 2 hours. But I don't think any of the movies hit 3 hours. Someone in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong.
That's one of the things that I thought was always gonna in the back of my mind. I was always like, oh man, those movies are also too long too, without even just checking how long they go. So that always threw me off too. Shoot, man. It's just like I mean, Star Wars to watch, Stranger Things. It's gonna be a long winter.
Yeah, I mean, definitely pace yourself. Don't watch it as a chore. That's my.
No, I'm gonna have fun with it. I got all this free time. Like might as well. All right, let's finish off with the Star Wars stuff. let's go to IDW. This is it. This is all we got. And
Yeah, there's not even a few more.
No, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but speaking of Mel V and some people in the chat, but I think this one is the big one. And I know Keith was always making fun of me for this, but there is a market.
There is a market for it. Yeah.
My Little Pony Transformer crossovers.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that the San Diego Comic-Con variant that came out this past summer, I remember it sold out on the IDW site, and it was selling for quite a bit on eBay and all that. So there is a definite market for this series.
That's crazy. It's also a second print.
Yeah.
The number one. So this is probably one of the ones you want. I'm excited to talk to Mel on Friday night to see what he thinks about these, because I remember when they first came out, he would always be like, "Motherfucking Little Pony," and like people were just giving him some grief on it. But I mean, in the investment side of things, like people are picking these up like crazy. Well, not like crazy, but it is hard to find them, which means a lot of people believe in them.
Yeah, but I mean, my thing is collect what. At the end of the day, you should also collect what you like. If you're just collecting just for pure spec, and let's say it doesn't pan out, then you're just going to be stuck with these books that you probably would not have cared for.
Man,
so
that's what I've always said. One of the biggest pieces of advice I always give new people is don't just go on people's channel and just pick whatever. You know what I mean? Like everyone has good spec, everyone has bad spec. Mm-hmm. Some people hit, some people miss. Like I've missed, I've hit. It's just a part of the game. But you don't want to be that guy that's just collecting spec just to be relevant, and then you end up with books that, if they don't hit, they're just books that
they're sitting in your box.
Yeah, like I'd rather have a book that means something to me, right? So
yeah, because I'll give you an example. A lot of people now with the Mandalorian are really buying a lot of these Star Wars back issues. I'm sure you've heard, like with Thrawn and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
I've never been a really big Star Wars comic collector, so for me, it doesn't really fall into my wheelhouse. So I'm not even going to pretend like I know, those series. So that's like one of those things where I'm just going to let everyone else, buy those issue up, and then I'll, go on to something else.
I'm actually going to take a picture of this right now, so I have it. So I'm gonna take your advice and see what happens. So he's saying the best order to watch Star Wars is A New Hope, Rogue One, Empire, Phantom Menace, AOTC. I have no idea what that is.
Oh, wait, he mentioned Rogue One. Are you watching the spin-off movies as well, or are you just watching the actual,
I'll watch whatever. I just promise
all right.
to watch one Star Wars movie. So if I'm watching the spin-offs, I'll watch them, I guess.
Okay, because I didn't factor those in, but yeah. Okay, cool.
So yeah, and I think this is the number one rule. Yeah, you got it. Collect what you love.
Exactly, for sure.
So on Image or IDW, I mean, I think that's going to be the one to get. Sonic the Hedgehog, I mean, I love it. It's not really anything, and obviously we got the Ninja Turtles number 2,
which I'll be picking up.
Yeah, I think this one again will be
repping the TMNT.
Yeah. Now I'm assuming they have more. This can't be the only cover, right?
No. Okay. So what I was telling you backstage was like, see that Sparks actually taught me this trick. See the URL address bar?
Yeah.
You know that last digit? Bump it up by 1 digit.
All right. Oh, I think Lucas did this. Oh shit.
And then you'll see the 1 in 10. So shout out to Sparks for giving me that little tip.
Okay, Sparks. Yeah, I remember Lucas on Drunken Chat telling me about this too, but I thought it was Never mind. I won't say anything.
If there was a cover B, it would show the cover B, and then so on and so forth. So basically, you just have to increase the number, and then you'll see.
So Sparks learned it from Lucas too. So yeah,
see, we're all helping each other out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, so that's great. You know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I like both of the covers, but for whatever reason, this yellow is really speaking to me. Mm-hmm. I really like this cover.
Yeah, I'm actually grabbing both. So.
And you said it's a 1 in 10.
It's a 1 in 10. Yeah, the Jenica variants, for the as far as I know, are all going to be 1 in 10s unless they make another announcement.
Shit. All right, we're gonna skip Marvel and we're gonna come back to it. Sick tip. Yeah, so there you go. See, that's what I love about this community. We all just help each other out.
Hmm.
All right, so we're gonna skip Marvel. We'll do that one last. We're gonna go to Dynamite.
This is where Face would be a lot more helpful because I got nothing for you in
Yeah,
Dynamite.
face is man. That's why I always tell him, I'm like, you are the information guru. You are the legend when it comes to that, because I can say any book and Face will be like, oh yeah, there's a 1 in 10, 1 in 25, 1 in 50, 1 in whatever. Like he
Yeah,
knows this stuff, and he's awesome for that, man. Like honestly, any time I have any issues with a book or I ask him about it, the first thing he said, like I'll be like, man, Face, what do you think about this book? And he'll be like, well, there's a 1 in 50, 1 in 100, 1 in 200. And I'm like,
he knows his stuff.
what do you mean about the cover? Hey.
And we've touched on this before. His pull list, my gosh, I thought I had to kind of shrink my pull list down, and then I look at Faces. I'm like, okay, this guy got me beat.
Dude, when we first started talking to him and stuff like that, and he was showing me some of the book, like I was like, dude, you're getting all of them? He's like, I'm getting all of them. I was like,
I don't know where he stores all of them though. That's
yeah, that's crazy. You know what? But him and his girl, like his girl's a reader too. So like, you know, I know she collects, he collects. Like, they probably have a lot of books, man. So yeah, if he ever has like I always told him, I'm like, if you ever have an auction or a claim sale, let me know. Like,
dude,
that's first.
He should do like one of those like those pimp, like what is it called, that MTV show. No, not
MTV Cribs.
Yeah. Just show his collection off.
You know what? You know what's funny is I think Keys, or maybe me, I joke, but I think it was Keys, because Keys has that like personality. He's like, man, it would be hilarious if somebody did that for like their comic, like as a video, like throwing up their comments, like, yo, what's up, everybody? Oh, okay, let's go. And then like, just for shits and giggles, I always said, I'm like, yeah, but you have to show the fridge, because like everybody always showed the fridge. So you go comics and then like your fridge, and then like just be done with it.
And that's it. That's the whole episode.
That's it. All right, let's get down with Dynamite here. We got Betty Page, number 4. You got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm assuming there's probably more, but I'm a pass on this one. You got your Red Sonias. I mean, we're probably gonna pass by these. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, I mean, there's don't forget the boys, Dear Becky. That I know that for the fans.
I was gonna come back to that one. Yeah, you got the boys. You got the 3 books there. You got, you know, the black and white, and then you have the virgin cover. I'll click on the cover A here. Obviously, this is just, again, another story, another series that's really hot. You guys don't need me to tell you that. I mean, super popular. On Netflix. Is it on Netflix? No, it's on
Amazon Prime.
I always forget because we have everything but Hulu
and HBO Max. We don't have HBO Max.
Yeah, and that one. Yeah, I don't have that one.
The 2 big ones.
Yeah, which is a big one because, like, Wonder Woman. I saw a commercial today at work actually about HBO Max, and they're giving like a not a preview, but a promotion for Wonder Woman that comes out on, I believe it's Christmas Day.
Yeah, Christmas Day, 25th December.
So it's going to suck for us unless we are in an area that has a theater. Like, I want to go see it. I don't want to, you know, just miss everything because I don't have HBO Max.
Yeah, and I don't know if theaters are going to be opening up anytime soon in my area. So
yeah, you're in red. You're in like code red. We're in code orange. So
yeah.
I mean, we're still able to hang out with 10 people. That's it, basically. So
yeah, I mean, you're pretty much most of my social interaction I'm doing for tonight.
Yeah,
which is good, which is fine.
For these books, the boys, are you picking up all 3, just one, or?
I'm not picking it. I never look. I didn't even read the actual boys original series. I only got into the series when I started watching the Netflix show. So it's probably one of those things where I'm gonna finish the show and then probably get around to actually reading the comics. But I never actually read the actual comics originally.
Really? Yeah, this one I started off a little slow. I got the free comic book one. But yeah, again, another series. You know, like I just fall behind, man. Like there's so many series.
There's too many damn things on my pull list that certain things I kind of end up on the cutting for, and even now I still feel like I got too much that I'm pulling.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna make. I don't know if this is history. Maybe they'll sponsor me. Who knows? But if there's 2 shows that I follow like religiously, it is Oak Island. I don't know why. Man. And I don't know if you know what it is. It's on the History Channel, but it's about this island.
I can't say I can't even pretend like I know what it is.
So it's this island in Nova Scotia. It supposedly has this like history of this like hidden.
That's in Canada for the people that chat. That's a place in Canada.
Yeah, but it's Americans that are here like making it, so it's really crazy. And then
Okay.
I watch like Ancient Aliens like religiously.
What network is that on?
History or TLC. They got a thing on Netflix too.
Okay.
Yeah, so those two things, I'm like, whenever they come out, I'm like, yeah, I got to watch that. Plus all the movies, plus all the series that I'm trying to catch up. So, you know, it's sometimes hard, man. So
It is. It's especially.
And I figured the other day when I decided, okay, let's start Stranger Things, I thought, okay, do I start Stranger Things or do I start The Boys? And I thought, you know what, I don't want to get I don't want to fall too behind on the.
Can't go wrong either way, though.
Yeah. But I just figured, you know what, it's older. I'll catch up to The Boys kind of thing, and then, you know.
Well, also the other thing you have to keep in mind, I'm kind of a bit behind on a few episodes for The Boys, but I'm not sure. Is season 2 still ongoing, or do they wrap it up?
You're talking to the wrong guy. Maybe somebody like that. But yeah.
Because the thing is, like you know, with Amazon Prime, they don't dump all the episodes. They always do it, you know, on a weekly basis, right?
Stay away from Nova Scotia. It's fake. I don't know if he's trying to say, you know what, maybe he follows the show too. I don't know. But yeah. Wrapped up.
It wrapped up already. All right, cool. So,
right,
so in that case, yeah, I mean, because what I was thinking was if the show is still going on with The Boys, I would tell you to watch Stranger Things first because all those seasons have wrapped up and they're waiting for the 4th. But since both are already wrapped up, you know,
perfect.
Although Boys is only 2 seasons, Stranger Things is 3 seasons. So, you know.
You know what, man? I'm sure with this winter coming up, like work is gonna be a little slow now, so I'm pumped. Like I'm ready to like just chill and watch something. So yeah. But I made that for myself about Star Wars. That way in the new year, you know, when people are talking about certain things, I'm like, yeah, I know this person. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that will talk to me about Star Wars Spec, and I'm like, listen, I don't know anything about Star Wars Spec. And then they ask me about Star Wars Spec, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if you like heard me. I don't know anything about Star Wars.
That seems to be dominating a lot of my IG feed lately, like a lot of Star Wars books. And the thing is, I can't even pretend like I know Star Wars, like in terms of the comics, I mean. So it's like, it's cool. It seems like people are getting value for their books, but I wouldn't really know where to start with that. So I'm not even gonna.
It's hard, man. And like, you know, I guess some people try to fake it and say they know a lot of things. I pride myself on, hey, if I don't know an artist, if I don't know a writer, if I don't know a book, if I don't know a variant, I'll just come out and tell you guys, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I thought I was going to be put on a cross when I came out and said, hey, you know what, months ago, and I said, I don't watch Star Wars. Like, I thought people were destroying me. And
we got to come back to that. And I think we mentioned this in the private chat, how David Prowse recently passed away, right?
Yes.
You know, 83, I think, right?
83? I thought maybe it might have been older.
Okay, 85 or 83. He was definitely in his 80s.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
We made this. We were saying how you. Hold on. Yeah. Okay. So even Hoodrat's been collecting, and he doesn't know.
I've got 2 Star Wars books in my collection. It's a Darth Maul #2. It's a limit. Like the print run was super low. It's got. Excuse me. I think it's the first appearance of Cade Bane. And it's a book that a lot of people are trying to find. And then there's that Darth Vader #7 that I picked up about 2 weeks ago. Those are the only 2 books.
Yeah, same here. I picked up the Darth Vader 6 and 7 just on FOC, just because I knew that they were gonna get some heat, but I wasn't picking up any of the Darth Vader books before that. Those are the only 2 in my collection with the Darth Vader one. But now I was saying how David Prowse passed away, right? And I remember 2 weeks ago you accidentally botched the name Darth Vader by Death Vader, right? So it's almost like, did Newbie just curse this dude?
Yo, I'm sorry. Dude, that thing's been following me for like weeks. Like Keys will always say, hey, Death, what's up? Or like Sauna Nation, like all these people will like just say,
It's
"Hey,
gonna be something that's gonna follow you, and I mean, it's a good thing you didn't say that at a convention or something.
oh, dude, I'd be running like for the hills, man. People would have my head. It's crazy. It's crazy." But Star Wars, man. Keys, and I got another buddy. His name's Neil. Love them both. Shout out to Neil if you're watching. He can never make the shows, but shout out to him. They're my Star Wars guys, and it's sometimes frustrating because when I tell Keys, hey, Mel V or Very Garrett, just like random names, right? These guys are like talking about these Star Wars books. What do you think? And Keys will be like, nah, this person's dead. Nah, this person's dead. Nah, they're not gonna do anything. So I'm like torn because I'm like, okay, like I have here, one of my good close friends who follows that stuff religiously, and he's saying, no, don't get these books. And then you have like these like YouTubers and stuff being like, no, pick these books up. So it's just one of those things where I'm like, I'm torn, right? Because like I'm going to the well being Keys.
Your knowledge base. Yeah.
Right? Just like if he were to come up to me and ask me for my advice on Iron Man stuff or Silver Age, like I would hope that he took my advice. So
yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean you can't be an expert on everything. I mean you kind of have to tap into people that know their stuff. Like just on the chat right now, I mean the dude's name speaks for itself. He calls himself Sith Lordly.
Yeah.
I asked him actually because if you look at his IG, he posts a ton of Star Wars stuff. I asked him how many short boxes of Star Wars. He has like 9 short boxes of just Star Wars books. So I barely have. I don't even think I have. I think I'm coming up to 9 or 10 short boxes of just my entire collection. So he has 9 of just Star Wars, and he knows his stuff. So I mean, yeah, everyone has their knowledge base.
Yeah, it's just sometimes it frustrates me because I'll be like, Keys, like, man, these people are saying, fucking collect this book, pick it up, eat, and then Keys is like, nah, man, this person already showed up. He's dead. They don't do anything with it. He's wearing a blue shirt. It's not red. Just shit like that. And it's like, all right, so don't pick it up. Like, I don't know. So
that's the thing. I mean, when it comes to that point, I usually would just walk away just because I kind of need to have some personal interest or investment into it. I don't want to just go off of just a pure, unless it's a steal, then that's a different story.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, once I start watching these shows, obviously I'll have a bit more, and I'll probably have a direction and a vision in my of myself of like where I want to go if I were to do or follow Star Wars in the comics. You know what I mean? Like what first appearances to get, if I buy into a character, things like that. You know what I mean? So
yeah, that's the thing. It's always like trying to figure out where do you want to start. Like especially when it has a rich history. Like that's always the first question people ask. Like I like this character. Like I like Spider-Man. Where should I start? Shit. I mean, like that's a pretty open-ended question.
Yeah. Well, people ask me all the time about Iron Man. They're like, man, what Iron Man book should I get? I'm like, I don't know. To be honest, there's only like maybe 10 that you really need to get in the whole run because a lot of them are, I'm not going to say garbage, but they're just filler. It's just
really
filler. I mean, you got 1, 2, 3 I'd probably get, then nothing until about 55, then nothing until 100, then nothing till 219, 220, and then nothing until 280, and then
that whole Demon in the Bottle story arc, I think, is probably
120. And the only reason, I mean, you only want 128. I mean, nobody realized like a series, right? Like everyone's like, oh no, it's just a one book. It's like, no, 128 is the final one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's final. I think it's 5 out of 6. Can't remember. 6 out of 6. I can't remember. I'll get back to you. But
all right.
All right, let's get into boom. We got Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I think I say this all the time when we bring up Buffy. I mean, it was on Netflix not too long ago. It's hot. It's coming back up. It's a pulp culture icon. Sarah Michelle Gellar, all that stuff. The books have seen an increase. I do think in June they had a new Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Since then, it's been heating up. A lot of people have been picking it up. The variant for this one is kind of dope. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you got the girls there. It's got that 80s vibe to it. White cover, so I'm a sucker for that. I think this one will do really well.
Yeah. Is there a ratio for that?
How do we do this? We do the
bump up the number.
Yeah, 6. Ooh. Wait, do I
I
have
know
that?
that the Buffy ratios do. Some of them do pretty well, but
I
actually,
mean, I don't mind this one. This one's got like this freaky look to it. I'm gonna see if I can bump it up one more time.
yeah, I don't think that's a ratio. I think that's a regular.
Yeah, here we
There you
go.
go.
Right here. I probably pay extra for that, to be honest.
You would pay extra for that?
I would not.
Yeah, I know. I know people are into sketch covers, but this is way too pencily for my liking.
Yeah. Let's see if there's an 8. No, there's not an 8. Yeah, that pencil one is not really doing it for me. I probably wouldn't spend. That was a what? 1 in 25 or?
25, yeah.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't spend $25 on that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not into Buffy that much, but I have seen a rise in it. Talking to shop owners around here, I know that a lot of them are getting a lot more Buffy, believe it or not. So yeah, you can see that it is starting to be something. Dune House, man, Face always corrects me when I say this one, but it is a number 1. It is the 3rd printing.
A treatise, I think. Yeah, that's how you say it. Yeah.
House of Atreides. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Dune, the whole Dune thing has gotten really hot ever since they announced that show. Has the show come out already or no?
No, I don't think it has.
We got Lumberjanes, End of Summer, number 1.
What is that, like a one-shot, I think?
I've got no idea. I think this is the first time. No, you know what? I've seen the Lumberjanes a few times, but
No, but I mean this particular issue.
Oh, okay, no idea.
It's I think the issue itself series is supposed to end at 75, I think, or something, right?
75?
This looks like more like
75 issues. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's been a long running series, and I mean, it did get options, so that number 1 is going for a pretty penny.
Oh shit! And $6.99. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm guessing it's like an oversized one shot, probably.
Burke and all the Power Ranger guys will probably be dope for this one, but it's Mighty Morphin number 1, 2nd print. Realistically, let's be honest, anything Ninja Turtles, anything Power Rangers is super hot these days. I mean, it's almost gotten to that point of that Miles Morales thing in the sense, and people don't go crazy thinking, what, newbie think Power Rangers like Miles? No. What I'm saying is when Miles got super hot, anything with Miles on it, even if the book didn't have anything important in it, if it was just a filler book, it was still going for crazy amounts. And, I think that a lot of Power Ranger ones are going for crazy amounts as well. I will be honest, I don't know who this is on the cover. Is it supposed to be?
It's Draken.
Okay.
I believe it's Draken. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm actually picking up the other cover.
This one right here?
Yeah, because if, like I told you before, I'm a sucker for connecting variants, and this connects to, because this is Mighty Morphin 1 2nd print, this connects to Power Rangers number 1 2nd print. So.
Yeah, I'm not following the Power Rangers run. I know that they just announced, what was it, like 2 weeks ago or something like that they were going 2 different, not shows, but 2 different titles or whatever.
Well, I mean, they were doing that in the previous series where they called it Go-Go Power Rangers and Mighty Morphin. So it's a similar thing, but apparently I think the way you're supposed to read them is 1 1 1 1. Like, it's meant to be read as a companion for both series.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I probably like that Mighty Morphin one, the first cover.
First?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool too.
All right, let's go to everybody's favorite. We're going to go to Marvel, and we'll get into the DC stuff last, and then we'll get into our spec and our comic talk stuff.
The noob, I think you're skipping a section.
Did I?
Miscellaneous, the comics.
There's a miscellaneous?
The one all the way at the bottom. No, before books go up.
This one?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done this one.
Yeah, there's actually there might be, because usually Vault comics are usually on the section.
Belly targeted prey number 1.
Because keep scrolling.
Captain Canuck.
Doesn't seem like there's. Oh, okay. There's one. There's one that you'd want to be on the lookout for. Erratic.
This one right here.
Yeah. Yeah. This is another. This one I did pre-order from AWA Studios. Erratic. Be careful how you say that because one misspelling and you might say something that you're not supposed to say. Um, so yeah. Basically, the premise behind this is it's a kid who has superpowers, but if I remember correctly, his powers only last for 10 minutes, I think. I can't really read the synopsis. Probably was like 10 or 15 minutes. He basically has powers only for a short duration. So
So like only 10 minutes a day, or is it like 10 minutes, 5
that,
hours, and then
you know what, that I got I'm not sure. I know Hoodrat from Teen Nerd were talking about this issue, but I have a feeling it's 10 minutes a day. I think he only has it in bursts of 10 minutes, and I think it's only good for that whole day. But yeah, it's an interesting concept. I mean, and if you look at the character, it clearly it's like it almost looks like a clone of Miles Morales.
yeah, that's the vibe I get. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
A lot of people were saying the same thing. So
You're 15 years old. You're suddenly granted with incredible powers. Cool, right? Yeah, I could probably see this being something. So yeah, if you guys can come across this, definitely pick that up for
yeah,
sure.
and the thing is, AWA hasn't really done. I mean, they did the Resistance as one of their other superhero movies, and I know that they're trying to expand their whole superhero universe. So I would just be on the lookout for this if you can find it.
That one, the first one that I showed was cover B. So this is the
That was,
cover A.
yeah,
So
that's covered.
I think this would have answered a lot of our questions because it says right there, 15 years old, 10 minutes to save the world.
There you go. Okay, so
So yeah, and I think yeah, Kid Collector's
10
saying
minutes. Yeah. So it's not like 10 minutes and then all right, time out and then another 10 minutes. It's you pretty much you got 10 minutes and then
you got to plan like fighting bad guys and like stopping robbers like precisely.
yeah, you gotta be very economical with your time.
Yeah, shit. Is there anything else
Giga, the second print for number one. There's a foil.
for which one? Sorry.
Giga.
Oh, Giga.
That's a good series. So, with Vault Comics, they do like a regular priced cover for the second print, and they also do a foil variant, which I believe is like $10. So, yeah. The John Boy, but the thing is, the John Boy is an exclusive, and that one I believe it's sold out in 616 Comics, the Virgin. I think you can still find the trade dress variant.
Shit.
Yeah, it's
Just going through these real quick, skimming through them. Yeah, it looks like it's it.
I think that's pretty much most of this.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's good information because I didn't know about that. So, yeah.
I mean, oh, and actually the other one would be Heavy. I'm not picking up that series, but I know some people are. Actually, a lot of people are.
I don't mind that red cover, but yeah, I'm probably going to pass on that one.
Yeah.
Bricks is saying Giga is surprisingly good. I'm with you on the exclusive X. Save that money for big boy books. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm with X and Team Murder on that. I'm kind of staying away from exclusives for the most part, and I'm kind of focusing on regular covers and just saving up for those.
Yeah, I am too, man. I don't know. I know a lot of people love them, those store exclusives and things like that. I try to just stay away. I like to keep my money in silver and bronze, to be honest. And I think a lot of you guys in the chat, you especially Hyper, you guys have heard me say that. So, Bro Heavy is a fucking trip, man.
Yeah, I mean the concept itself seems pretty cool.
If I can find a cover to just read, even if I find like just a reader copy or whatever, I might pick one up.
You could probably still find number one. They're only on issue 3, anyways. So.
All right, so let's get into the best. Oh, excuse me, the best comics that are coming out. It is Marvel. It is probably the biggest event of December. You guys don't need me to hype it up because Donnie Cates has been hyping it up himself. But we're gonna start off with Spider-Man. We got Amazing Spider-Man 53. Keys was saying, and I think Face. No, I think Face is picking it up. I think Keys is like kind of done with the series.
I'm picking it up also because I'm already that deep into it, so why would I? I mean, and the Kindred storyline is supposed to wrap up in issue 55 anyway. So if you're picking it up, might as well see to it till the end, you know,
Yeah.
and then make your decision from there. For this one,
I'm torn. I'm torn.
what issue number is this?
53.
53. Okay. This one there is a ratio that I think there's a ratio for this one as well. It's the Miles Morales, I believe. Yeah. Wait a minute, hold up. This one?
No. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
No, this one didn't it already come out?
I mean, it looks similar to a lot of other Miles covers that I've seen, to be honest with you.
Oh, bro.
Whoa.
It's not. I don't think.
Oh, wait, yeah, it says right there in stores November 25th. Yeah, so that one came out last week.
That's okay. So
maybe weird. That's super weird.
Okay, so that trick didn't work for that issue.
Yeah. That's already out. Yeah. Yeah, we just figured that out. Yeah, sorry, my bad, guys.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I just did that trick. I just did the trick. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Maybe there isn't a ratio for this one.
I'm assuming it probably will be, to be honest with you. I mean, I find it really hard that they didn't come out with a ratio.
Well, because Noobs, there is a ratio. There is a Miles ratio, but it's not. I know there is one for the actual Miles Morales issue that's coming out the same week. So maybe there's no ratio for this one. That's
yeah. Yeah, a lot of people just attacked us there. Woo! It's already out. It's already out. Yeah. My bad. We tried a little trick there. It didn't work out.
It didn't work.
I think that's the first blunder we've had with that one. But hey, it is what it is. All right, we got Black Widow number 4.
Don't forget, Atlantis Attacks is a King in Black tie-in. So.
Oh shit! Okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I'm not covers. Yeah, I'm just gonna pick this issue up because right now I am gonna be picking up the tie-ins for King in Black. I don't know how long I'm gonna be picking them up for, but I will be picking this up.
Are you picking up both covers? So you got the cover A there, and then you got.
I'm just gonna do one cover. For the most part, I'm kind of staying away from a lot of the variants with these tie-ins, just because my pocket's gonna run dry if I keep going for all these variants on top of all the tie-ins.
And now we come back. Sorry, everybody, but we come back to Black Widow number 4. I mean, a lot of people have been picking up the series from 1, 2, 3. I haven't. I think I have number 1, that red cover.
The J. Scott.
Yeah, but I haven't been picking them up after. I'm just not really sold on the series. There are 3 covers. I know a lot of people were picking up I don't know. I guess I was calling them the side booty ones because there was, the 3 books that just had, her on the side with different suits,
There is a dope, but this issue does have a dope ratio though. That I know for sure. It actually, I think it's a 1 in 25.
So let me see if this trick works here.
Oh no! What the hell?
Let me try on the cover A. Hold on.
Yeah, try on the cover A.
So boom. This one right here?
That's the one. That's the ratio.
Yeah, it's actually pretty dope.
That one looks pretty nice.
I mean, you got Iron Man on the cover. You got Winter Soldier. Can't go wrong with that. I'm still in the hunt for the 1 in 25 variant for Black Widow 2. I don't think I've seen that one.
I actually saw that one. It's a Japanese artist. I forgot his name. But it's like a manga kind of anime style. I saw it at my shop before, but I think it must have.
How much is it going for?
My shop was only selling it for at that time was 25 Canadian because again, Black Widow's not a very popular series. So
no. Oh man.
There you go. Yeah.
On it, yeah.
That's the artist.
I don't want to butcher the name, so I'm not even going to attempt it. Just out of respect. Just out of respect.
Takashi Okazaki.
We got Champions Outlawed number 3.
I'm picking this up.
There was that Champions book number. What was it? Champions. I think it was the second print last week.
Number 1, which I told you about it to be on the lookout for, and
Yeah, it kind of blew up on the secondary market because they were going for, I think the one reached for $55. The last one that I saw with shipping and everything included.
Really?
Yeah,
Because when I sent you the link, it was only 40.
I
So
know.
it's gone up.
So I don't know where it is now. Obviously, if you're looking at it just from like a selling and investment standpoint, I mean, obviously, you're going to see the higher prices Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, getting into Friday, and then by Saturday, it's kind of either died off or people are already getting ready for the next week.
None of my shops had them. I just pre-ordered one copy of FOC. So
Ours didn't either. None of them. Our shops didn't have that one. And believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, I was trying to get that DC, that Black Knight or the White Knight Harley Quinn one. Couldn't find it. Could
yeah,
not. No stores had it. It was unreal.
well, our stores, some of their DC shipment was a bit late, so they're supposed to get it this week, I think. So I haven't gotten my copy of that either.
But one of our shops says that, and then like he never calls me. Like I'll be one of the first ones to like call him for something and be like, yeah, and then like nothing. So.
Oh, okay. You think he just is keeping them?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Sometimes he like makes me pay double for stuff, or like he'll give me like a ridiculous price because he sees how much it's going for, like based on the American market, right? Like because they've had it for a week, and so like he sees how much they're going for. So he'd be like, "Oh yeah, well you should be paying me that." It's like
you should be.
It's not my fault that you got your shit late, and then you basically get to cheat the market and see how much they go for.
Like, yeah, that's cold. That's cold.
So,
I'm just reading Hoodrat's comment. He found the second print of Champions and he put it back on the shelf. That's listen, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
To be fair, man, I think Hyper told me about this book Wednesday afternoon, right? Or like Wednesday morning, I think, something like that.
I think you asked me, was it Tuesday or Wednesday? It might have been Wednesday morning. I think you were just asking, like, in general, what books to be on the lookout for.
No, yeah, there was anything that we missed.
No. It was Tuesday because Keys was trying to pick up his DC stuff, so he was asking.
Right. Yeah, Universe X, Jorge saying, did you? I passed on it. Yeah, I passed. Well, I couldn't find it, so I can't say I passed on it. I don't think it will cool down.
Yeah, man. Listen, anything we're seeing a lot of these headshot covers, especially with the youngsters like Kamala Khan, Miles Morales. Those are heating up because you don't see a lot of them out there. So
yeah,
anytime you have a character spotlight with some of the characters that are going to be in the future MCU, I would grab those.
If I could make one, I want to be careful how I word this. If I could make one piece of advice, not even advice, just plant something in everyone's brain is you guys have to, and I know I have a lot of catching up to do in some books and reading and things like that. But you have to, if you want to get ahead in the spec, if you want to get ahead of what's going to happen with investing and things like that, just start reading certain storylines of like things after, Endgame, things like that. And you'll understand what characters are coming, what teams are coming, possible things to look on the, you know what I mean? So I don't know. There's a few books that Hyper, I'll probably tell you about privately. I don't want everybody to know this yet, but you have to start doing that. I think if people started doing that, they would be on, everybody would just, it would be a happier place because everybody would have the books, right?
Yeah. I mean, and that's why for the most part, like right now on my pull, I'm pulling all the series are tied into Outlaws. Like I'm pulling out the Champions, I'm pulling Miles, I'm pulling Miss Marvel, and also Captain Marvel. Just because those series, there's a lot of world building to do, so I figure that's like a good place to start in terms of reading and where characters are heading. Because characters like Spider-Man, Batman, and all that, they're pretty much established characters. So, you're not going to see a lot of new characters that are going to have as much potential as opposed to these newer series that are still expanding their universe, I find.
Yeah. I'm a big believer in, like I get people, I think I made this comment when we were talking X-Men like months ago. And I had said, like, yeah, I would love to see Wolverine, but like at some point they have to introduce new characters, they have to introduce the kids, they have to introduce something. So just be on the lookout for that. Start reading certain storylines, right? Like people ask me all the time, they're like, man, and especially I think it threw a wrench in a lot of people because like, it's unfortunate. I mean, I think a times past where we can maybe talk about it and not in a disrespectful way, but once Chad Boseman passed away, the Black Panther, because everybody knew, okay, it was going to be Black Panther, Captain Marvel, that was going to be the next couple movies. And now with him gone, it's probably, it throws a wrench because, people are trying to figure out, okay, what's the next team? What are the next characters? What's the next group, right? And, now it's kind of like, okay, so, yeah, but I would just suggest, people just start
reading is the best way. Yeah, like you said, it's I mean, it's you read it because you enjoy it, but it's also like you're doing like it's a form of research also. So you're kind of savvy on what to look out for.
This is a big thing to say. I don't know.
I'm a bit skeptical.
I don't know.
I'll say it's a bold prediction, but I'm not sure. It's interesting because we know that Deadpool and Wolverine cross paths many times in the comics. I'm not sure though if they're ready to bring him back that soon.
Here's the issue with that. It's hard for me to believe that Hugh Jackman, because I'm assuming they'll probably get him just because of the relationship that Ryan Reynolds has with him as well. Like they're good friends outside of the movies and all that. I just think it'd be hard for anybody to keep that secret under wraps because a lot of things get leaked out nowadays. I just don't know. It'd be tough, but obviously I would love to see it. Like, just quickly before we get on to the rest of the Marvel stuff. I mean, I think everybody wants to see a Wolverine versus Hulk. I think everyone wants to see a Wolverine versus Deadpool. I think everybody wants to see, those crazy battles, like Silver Surfer and Thor, things like that. Thing and Hulk. Yeah. So, yeah, I would love to see it. I just have a hard time believing it might happen,
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna have to go against you on the fact that I don't think it'll be Hugh Jackman if they do ever cast Wolverine again. I think he's pretty much done with that role. I think if he ever comes back to the MCU, I think they're gonna bring a fresher face because this guy's like, Jackman's like close to must be 50s at this point. I would assume.
I think he's older than that.
Yeah, so
I think he's in like really good shape, and people just don't realize.
But the thing is, unlike Fox, I find MCU tries to take a more youthful approach to their characters. So I have a feeling that if he does come back, it won't be Jackman. It's going to be another dude playing him.
You know what? I want to save some of these. So just remember this, the Surrey stuff. We can wait till the end when we get into like our spec talk and things like that, where we just kind of shoot the shit. Let's just let's finish Marvel and then we'll get into it. I love when the chat gets into it and gets these questions. But we'll talk about Surrey for sure. All right. Where are we here? Civil War Marvel Snapshot 1. You got 2 covers. These were, no, it wasn't. I'm thinking the Chillers one, not Snapshot. Actually, no, Snapshot. The first one they did was that Iron Man one.
Yeah.
And now they got this one from Agents of Shield. I'm probably passing on this one. I don't know about you.
They're good cover buys, but I'm not actually picking these up. Daredevil 25. That apparently might be. I'm picking up the series anyways, just because it's a good read. But apparently, this might be an issue to look out for because they're saying there might be a status quo change for Elektra in terms of her costume and some kind of status quo shift for Elektra. So this might be something to look out for.
But you're also not going to pick it up because it's Ken Lashley, a fellow Canadian who made
it. You know what? Since you're on the nullified covers, I'm actually trying to not buy too many of these nullified covers, even though they're pretty dope. It's just because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole where I'm just collecting too many of these variants. I think the only nullified I'm picking up are the Miles, the Thor, and there's one more I can't remember. That is a pretty dope cover though. But
Bricks is saying that there's a first appearance in that Civil War one. I think he's referring to Civil War Marvel snapshots. So I'd be interested to see what that is. I mean, is it a big one? Are you hearing it's a big one? Is it a minor one? You know,
I'd have to look into that because yeah, I'm not too up to speed on Civil War, but Bricks knows his stuff. So
yeah, no, Bricks is very intelligent. All right, we got Fantastic Four Road Trip.
yeah, this is, I mean, just one of those Marvel minis that I'm probably gonna pass on. Just
Yeah,
like
I'm gonna pass on it as well. And finally, we get into the big story of the week. I think. I mean,
you mean Hellions?
yeah, Hellions. Yeah, yeah. Get on Hellions 7, people. That's the book you want to be. You want to be on.
Well, just a side note though, not House of X, Sword of Ten just wrapped up its event last week. So basically, I'm told that these next few issues are supposed to be good jumping on points for people that want to get into these X books. So this week might be a good place to start if you ever were thinking of getting on board on any of these X titles, like Hellions, and I think there's another one.
Excalibur, X-Factor, Marauders.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned something at the beginning where you had sent me a cover. I heard a few people talking about this. You actually messaged me prior to, like, you were the first person to tell me this. So I'm just saying that if somebody in the chat heard it otherwise, I mean, obviously I'm going to give the credit to my guy Hyper because he came up with the information. He told me about it. But in King of Black, I guess there's a secret variant, and I'll bring it up. But we have
first before the secret.
Sorry, say that again.
No, I'm saying you should probably show the regular and this before the secret.
Yeah. What I wanted to make clear is that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that preview shows. I'm assuming there might be a bit more.
Plus sure.
Plus all that. So this book's gonna be crazy. Obviously, it's something that Donny Cates has been hyping up since.
Put it this way: if you can't find any copy of King in Black, your store is doing something wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You need to.
Sorry, I was just gonna say. So this is the cover A. You got Venom, you got Iron Man. I mean, you got 2 of the greatest characters of all time. And then here, I'm gonna get the what's it called? Hold on, I got to shoot. How do I do this?
I think you got to download the image.
No, I got it right here. And then, okay, this is the secret variant right here. So as you can see, one big character that's missing is they got rid of right behind Venom and to Captain America's right, I guess you could say, you have the Thing instead of Hulk. Now, this is the secret variant. What are you thinking? I think this is going to be what, one per store, if that?
No. Usually with these secret variants, Marvel's past secret variants, they say that on average it usually works out to about 1 in 10, roughly. I already called my shop just to say, if you find this, put it aside for me. I think one other person called before me, so people do know about it. Listen, I'm just gonna, advise people, obviously collect what you like, but look, don't pay ridiculous amounts of money for the secret variant, because Marvel has done, like, I know when Venom 7 came out with that secret variant with the null, with the tongue sticking out, that was kind of a cool big deal. But it seems like Marvel's doing a lot of these secret variants lately with a lot of their big books. So, maybe it might be like a $10, $15 book, but I wouldn't pay too much for these secret variants because, like, I even told my shop, like, put it aside, but I'm still waiting for him to give me a price before I actually decide if I'm going to pick it up or not.
And I think that's the problem, because a lot of people fall into that, okay, you're not supposed to pay, more than the ratio price, right? What I mean by that, 1 in 10, don't pay more than 10. But you run into those issues that if you really want the book, I mean, you're going to be paying. I just don't think for this one, not that you shouldn't, because, spend your money however you want. It's just there's going to be so many covers, so many ratios, so many things like that. So I don't know. Just don't overspend.
And actually, Hoodrat brings up a good point because I actually picked up the secret variant for this one, the Doctor Strange, because the back in January the secret variant was he was holding a scalpel in the opposite hand,
That's
and
it. That was the only thing that was different.
and there was something else, but it was like basically like a swap in what he was holding, and I think I bought it for like $10, and I think you can still find that book for like cover price or just a bit above cover price. So secret variants are great. They'll probably pop for like the first few weeks, but my thing is it's probably gonna be it's especially with this series King in Black, a lot of shops are going to be ordering this issue #1, so I'm sure there's going to be a ton of these secret variants out there in the secondary market. So
Yeah,
just
and to answer this question, yeah, it drops this Wednesday.
yeah,
So yeah, honestly, man, I'll be like very blunt with you. I don't think you should worry if you don't have it pulled or like if you didn't call ahead kind of thing. I think you're going to see this in a lot of shops. To be honest with you, it just depends if you're cool with getting certain covers. If you were looking for certain covers, you might miss out on that. But I mean, I don't think you're going to have an issue finding this book.
yeah. If you just want a copy of King in Black, I don't think you should worry.
Yeah.
If you want a particular cover, then yeah, it
Yeah.
depends how much your store orders.
We got Null Marvel Tales 1 at $7.99. This is
Well, the thing is, there's a 1 in 50 ratio for this one, which is like a virgin trade of the same cover, and I think that's selling for already like 100 or 150 because stores don't order a lot of these books because they're $7.99 books. So not a lot of shops are ordering 50 copies of this.
So I got this one. I did Lucas's trick.
Yep.
And I'll try to do it one more time here to see if we can get another one.
No, I think you're only going to get one variant.
One? Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah.
That's the handbook. That's a different.
Yeah. Never mind. Boom. So yeah. So that could be something. But yeah, it's just like Hyper said. I mean, $7.99. I don't think a lot of shops are picking it up.
I mean, I do like the cover. It's Inyuk Lee, and basically it's a reprint of Venom #3, Venom #4, and Carnage Born. So basically, it's like the genesis of Null, kind of retold in this book.
JJ, oh come on, man. I mean, what Donnie likes to do is he likes to bring these build these characters and then like say that it's like Rhino or Shocker and then kills them off.
I'll talk about this also in the spec portion because I mean, I think you know where I'm heading with this particular comment.
But you know what? I mean, I know it killed me because I stopped Venom on 26 or 27. I can't remember.
Okay.
I stopped. I was done. I was like, no. But a lot of people are picking it up still. I mean, hey, just because I didn't like it or certain people didn't like it, I mean, don't stop. It doesn't mean anything. There's always going to be other books. But, yeah, it just seems to be, JJ's right. However, I mean, there was a tweet, I think FaceTime messaged me. Somebody was kind of poking the bear and kind of tagged Donnie Cates on, hey, what are you going to do with Black Winter? Are you going to do anything with Black Winter? And I think in caps, he said, you and the rest of the world will see what happens. Black Winter has like a huge thing, blah, 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 or something like that. So I don't know. You got to remember, obviously, I mean, any artist, not just Donnie, they have to be their own hype men, hype women, right? They have a job to do. Their job is to sell books. So obviously they're doing that. So just keep that in mind.
But I was always of the belief, just like my last show, like last week's show, that Black Winter was never dead. I mean, I knew that he was going to resurface.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah, but I just have a hard time. You know what? We'll get to that in the spec side.
Yeah.
I get so like ready and like fucking ready to go, and then I'm like, okay, hold on, let's finish this. So then we have Miles Morales, Spider-Man #21. I left that comment there for a reason, but yeah, so we got Miles Morales, Spider-Man #1. This Schumacher variant though is super dope. I'm not gonna.
This is a bit confusing for me because last I heard this is supposed to be a 1 in 10, so I'm not sure why this was showing up in the previews magazine.
Really? Could it be that maybe it's like, I don't know, maybe a different colorway or sketch?
No, because I asked my shop about this and they said it was a 1 in 10 when they actually pulled up on their order form. So
Wow.
It might be a mistake on previews, but and even I was looking at some of the other preview channels, and they also list this as a 1 in 10. Yeah, so see, even Sparks said it's a 1 in 10.
Shit.
But
Yeah,
this
can
was
you imagine if you were able to pick that up just on previews, just like straight up like that? That's crazy.
that would be insane. But this was the cover that I was alluding to. That remember you couldn't find the video game ratio for the ASM,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
this was the cover that for this week for the Miles video game cover.
Oh shit, I did not
He's
know that.
definitely the one to get.
Let's see here. We got Mudok.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 3 covers.
Yeah, what's interesting about this, it's written by comedian Patton Oswalt. So that's
Oh god, I love
so
that guy. I used to love that guy in King of Queens.
because the thing is, I think he might be voicing MODOK in an animated series, I think.
I just watched the movie Mastermind actually.
Yeah.
And he is with what is it, Colin Farrell? He's
Mhm.
that fish thing or whatever. He's actually pretty successful, man. A lot of people don't give him props. He's pretty good. A lot of comedians and a lot of people like respect that guy. So, yeah, previews is inconsistent in listing ratio. Yeah, 100%. Okay, so we do have a new site that we are going to use because it does show you all the variants and things like that. It's just been a site FaceTime actually researched, and credit to him. We were going to start using it. However, like the site went down for maintenance and then back and maintenance or blocked or something. So we're just working out the kinks. So hopefully, in the future, we won't be using previews. We'll be using that site where we can actually see all the variants, all the ratios and things like that, which I think would give a better product for everybody, and everybody just be able to see which ones are what.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Savage Avengers number 15. We got 2 covers. Probably a pass for me. I don't know. I'm not really going to get anything like that.
I stopped Savage Avengers after the first arc. It's a good read, but it's just one of those things that it just fell victim to stuff that I had to cut from my pull. That was it.
The Union is 1 of 5. It's got the King in Black tie-in, I believe.
Yes, and it's the first appearance of the team. So this would be something that I would look out for because this is eerily similar to, for me, it feels very parallel to what happened with New Agents of Atlas, which was another team that debuted in another miniseries, which was War of the Realms. So in this case, you have a new team appearing in the miniseries King in Black. So I would go with Covery. Like I said, tried and true Covery. And the thing is, Covery.
That was the cover appearance of them too, right?
I believe it has all the members. Yeah. So I would go for Covery if you're gonna grab it.
3 girls and 2 dudes. You got the green hair, the captain. I mean, she looks like Wonder Woman / Captain or Miss America, and then you got that pink hair, and then you got.
Clearly, we don't know these characters.
Yeah,
we're just winging it.
The Wonder Woman. All right, yeah. So I guess if I can get my hands on this one, I'll probably get it then.
I would definitely. Now, this is a series I would definitely probably call your shop and ask if they can put aside because I don't know if you're gonna see a lot because it's one of those one-off miniseries that shops might not order a lot of.
Shit, I hate when I have to do that.
Oh, you still got time. It's only Monday, so.
Yeah, you know what? One of my shops that I've actually recently partnered with, Big B Comics in Niagara Falls. They do a great job of having a lot of books. I give them credit because they have a lot of books. And usually I can call them, Wednesday morning and be like, hey, can you hold on to this book for me? And they have it. So
yeah, I find that usually if they know that you're not one of those fly-by-night kind of people that just goes into a shop just for spec buying, if I find that usually when you're a regular customer at a shop and you have a good rapport, shops will tend to do favors for you like that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I try to support all my shops in my area. I have 4. But the one guy called me out the one day because I told him about this cover, and I just got 1 book. And I forget what week it was. It was 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and he literally looked at me and he goes, "Oh, this must be something big." And I said, "Pardon?" And he goes, "Oh, this got to be something big." And I go, I don't know. I haven't read it yet. And he goes, "Oh, you don't come in here buying small books. All you do is buy big spec books and things like that." And I go, "Oh, okay. I don't know." Like, I don't know. Like, you kind of put me on the spot, but I was just like, man, I'm giving you the money for the book I want. I don't know. But the thing he said too is, as he's cashing me out, he goes, "Oh, what's it going on the second market?" And I truly honest, I can't remember what book it was, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just buying the book. So I don't know.
This is why you need to kind of like set up a pool or something just so that you kind of cover your tracks. Because yeah, if you're just calling just for the hot
It
book,
was no, but here's the thing. It's just because this one shop was the only one that had the book, right?
okay.
So like my other books that I picked up were at a different shop, but that shop didn't carry that final book that I needed. So when I went there, obviously the guy sees me show up, only pick one book up, and he's like, "Oh, something." And it's like,
He knows something's up.
well, like, sorry, I don't know. Like, why am I apologizing? You're getting money for a book that I want. I think the transaction is going pretty well. You're getting money. I'm getting a book. If we had if we had to do a Yelp review, I think we would both get 5 out of 5 stars. Like, that's
Sure.
how I see it in the perfect world, right? So,
And by the way, just to touch on JJW's comment, there is a design variant for Union, which I believe is a ratio variant. So it's like like those character design variants that Marvel does.
yes.
So those sports shops, they don't jack up price.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
I try to support as many. If like one day I'm just closer to this shop, I'll just go to that one.
But the thing is, also remember, you got to support the good shops because there's a lot of crappy shops out there that do bad practices. We don't need to go into too much details. We know who they are.
No, exactly.
Support the good shops.
And I will say that shop that I did do that business with that one, I mean, he's never had me, like he's the guy that, like, I'll say, "Hey man, can you hold this book?" And I'll call him like the Thursday before, and come Wednesday, he's like, "Oh, I sold them already, man. I forgot about you." It's like, all right, whatever.
So I gotta address Sith's comment because again, okay, so you know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'll probably have to explain this to you backstage because if I explain this right now on the show, I'm just gonna get another clip out of this show. I'm probably gonna be another meme. So I'll explain this backstage.
Well, we'll finish here. We'll finish the Marvel here. So we got Thor 10. Obviously, Thor, again, another property, another story that's been super hot this year. I think I stopped reading Thor or collecting Thor and reading probably around 6 or 7, to be honest with you.
No, I'm still with Thor. I still, I mean, again, from a spec side, obviously people are disappointed with the series, but as a series itself, I still enjoy it. So I'm still going to continue reading it. And I think that's kind of why I got into comics. Like specs, I don't know. I think some people like get too invested on the spec side and then they get overly disappointed when things don't pan out. But you got to remember, storylines have to play out, and you kind of have, and you can't expect everything to be given to you after the first 6 issues. This is why it baffled me when people were panic selling their Thor #5s when Black Winter just,
Oh, were they? I know I wasn't one of those people.
Hey. But yeah, man. I mean, look, and we know Cates does play the long game when he with the storylines, and he's made it pretty clear he has plans for Thor. It's not a series that he's planning on wrapping up in like 12 issues like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So I would say if you're enjoying it, stick with the series.
Yeah, and I think I have some Kate's spec / rumor stuff that our boy FaceTime actually came up with. I always say I will give people the credit where the credit is due. Face does his research. He gave me a bit of information. So I'm going to drop that in the spec side once we're done Marvel and we do DC. I'll be dropping some of the news and information that he has. So stay around and stay tuned for that.
Oh, nice. So he actually dropped some stuff even though he's not here.
Yeah, he kind of told me some information, just something to be on the lookout for if you're following the series. But yeah. And then, yeah, we got X Factor #5. to finish off the Marvel stuff there.
And the hell with you, Sith Lordly.
So that is it for that. And then we have, I believe we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we got 10 DC books to get through. And then we will be on our spec / news / rumor / shooting the shit for a little bit. So let's bring up the DC stuff. For DC stuff, because Previews doesn't have it, we use a site called League of Comic Geeks. They're really great.
Dude, you may want to just checkbox the variant cover box also on just so that you also get the variants. Yeah.
This is one of the reasons why this site is actually pretty dope. This is, again, kudos to FaceTime for using this one, because you do get to see the variants and things like that. So yeah. So let's get into it. We got Batman 104. I'm assuming a lot of people are picking this book up.
Yeah, it's just a regular pull book for me, so
yeah,
nothing to it. Picking up that. I'm not going to be picking up that designer variant. I was done with it after issue 103 when they started doing civilian costumes.
Yeah. But you know what? A lot of people are picking those up just because of, I think we spoke about it, like those timeless variants, those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the full color ones. A lot of people are just picking them up just because they look really good together.
They do. That's why I picked up all the Joker Wars and I picked up the Ghostmaker. But I would have probably picked up everything if I knew there was an end in sight. But as far as I know, I think there's still future solicits for those designer variants. I'm like, all right, they're going to just keep doing this. And Batman comes every 2 weeks. It's not a monthly issue.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
So if I have to buy a 1 in 25 twice a month, I'm going to have to draw the line somewhere.
Man, sometimes the variant, you speak very highly of what Face does, but like sometimes I look at you and I'm like, man, this guy picks up so many books too. Jesus.
Who, me?
Yeah.
No, man. Well, I don't know. I mean, I am trying to trim it down.
I think I've gotten down to where I'm trimming it down, because I bite the bullet sometimes and I'm like, okay, next week. Like I've gotten pretty good at walking away from a store if I just get that one book, or if I get those 2 books that I want, and then walking away. Like, I don't know. Because I always have that mentality, hey, there's always next week. Hey, there's always the week after that, right? It's things like that. So yeah. I know dudes, when me and Keys used to be there right at 11 a.m., there was dudes, obviously irregulars, but there was dudes that literally were taking home like stacks, and their bills were like 180, 200 bucks. Like, it's insane, because they literally pick up every book, and some of those books, there's some variants. There's 1 in 10s, 1 in 25s, things like that.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
I find like if you're just picking regular covers, your bills don't add up as much. But when you start going into those ratios, those 1 in 10s, they start adding up, and those 1 in 25s.
Yeah, it gets crazy.
Yeah.
We got Strange Adventures number 7.
That one I'm picking up, but I haven't read it yet because I'm waiting to just collect all 12 issues and basically just read it in one, because it's Tom King, and Tom King is sort of hit or miss for me. I liked his first arc of the Batman run that he did, but I wasn't too fond of his latter part, like after the post-wedding. So he has his moments, but I mean, I'm hearing good things about Strange Adventures, so I'm just going to wait until the series wraps up, and I'm just going to read the whole set from 1 to 12.
When I saw that globe, I'm not going to lie to you, the first thing that came to my mind was Captain Power. Or Captain Planet. Captain Planet,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I did Captain Planet.
This got that, old school look to it. We got Deceased, Dead Planet. This is obviously storyline. Deceased, DC, very popular. Obviously, a lot of people are picking that stuff up. I'm assuming a lot of people will be picking this one up as well.
I'm picking up. I've been picking up all the movie homage variants since issue 1, because those are pretty dope. I think. A
lot. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take the variants out just to get the books, and then we can get back into some of the variants there. Batman / Catwoman number 1.
That's a big book, I find. So I'll be picking. I already picked that up in my. Again, it's
number 1.
Sorry.
And it's a number 1. So.
And it's also a Tom King book. So.
Speaking of number 1s, we got Tales from the Dark Multiverse War of Gods. Okay, so I gotta ask, why does DC do this? Like, why do they do? Like, I want to be a fly on their wall when they're like, all right, Tom, what do you have for us as a title? All right, so let's get 20 words and then make it a cut. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god,
It definitely doesn't roll off the tongue when you
Dark Knight, Dark Metal, Dark Knights of the Night, Dark Knights,
Legends of the Dark Knight, Death Metal,
Ooh,
yada
man.
yada.
Newbie, can you show me a bigger picture of that Wonder Woman? Yeah, absolutely, brother. Let me just pick it up. So, I guess it doesn't do it any justice here. Oh, there we go.
Is it this one that he's talking about? I don't think it's this one. No, I think it's the one that you just. It was that DC. Go back. I don't know. Now you're.
Hey, just gotta go here.
I think it's the War of Gods that he was talking about. That one.
My bad.
Yeah. I mean, it is. I mean, these are all pretty much retellings of popular DC story arcs. I mean, they did one for the Hush, and now they're doing one for War of the Gods. So it's a great, it's a good alternative read if you're into it. I haven't really been picking up any of these because, like I said, trying to trim that fat a bit on my pull list. So.
Trimming the fat. We got Batman: The Adventure Continues, number 7.
Yeah, this one I'm picking up just for pure nostalgia because I don't know if we're about the same age or not, but I remember Batman, animated series was that show that I'd watch after school, on the weekdays.
Hyper, how old are you?
How old am I?
Yeah.
36.
Okay, I'm 32.
All right.
Yeah, so we watched the same Batman after school.
I remember because after school it was Batman, and then X-Men animated series was on Saturday morning, so I remember that.
Yep.
Good times. But yeah, so I'm picking up this because I was a fan of the art style on that show. So and I think this should go up to issue 8, I believe. So this is the second to last issue.
A story that I was following, number 1 and number 2, but it's the Dreaming Walking Hours. They're on their 5th series right now. Again, I've only picked up and read 1 and 2, so I don't know how it's gone after that. Obviously, it's issues, but
I'm not really touching the Sandman universe, really. So,
dang, I wish I was y'all age and could finally drive. Man, you know what, kid collector? I'm gonna tell you now, you do not want to grow up faster than you should, brother.
Yeah, stay young, man.
Stay in school. Get a career that you will only work Monday to Friday. Okay, that pays good money. Take your vitamins. Exercise once a day, and that's it, man. That's the best advice I can give you. Don't worry about growing up, man. Driving is not all that cool.
And you don't want to be driving in most major cities. Yeah. I think that'll age you faster. To be honest.
Road rage, fuck, man.
Oh my gosh.
All right, and finishing off, we got Metal Man number 12, red cover. It's a cool cover. I mean, I don't know anything about the storyline, to be honest.
Face was really digging this cover just because of the whole red background and the red and black. Yeah, I know he said he was going to be picking this cover up. And it is the last issue of the series.
Oh, okay. Does that mean he's picking up DC Classics, the Batman Adventures number 7, which is totally different than Batman: The Adventure Continue number 7?
And that's a $2 book, right?
That is, $2 book.
Yeah, those are probably just like reprints. I'm not sure if he's picking that up, but no, I don't think.
Let me go to some of the variants real quick, and we can go through them.
Yeah, there's a couple cool variants.
So obviously you have, that Batman 104. You got that, Barbara Gordon one. I think a lot of people will be picking that up and looking, because again, going for that collective thing. People collecting the other ones. I also think that Deceased Dead Planet number 6 will be very popular.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
They're basically homaging their own covers, their own movies.
Yeah. What else do we have? Deceased. This is another thing that DC has done. That this white cover right here. I mean, a lot of people are picking those up.
Yeah.
you know what? Like, and no disrespect to DC, but the way I view these is like the wannabe timeless ones, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. It's just that's what it reminds me of. It reminds me of those timeless ones.
I think these came before the timeless, dude.
I think they did too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is crazy for me to call them the wannabe ones, but just how successful the timeless ones did, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Batman.
This
That
one,
red cover is dope.
yeah, this one I definitely picked up. Just because that all red cover and that silhouette of the Bat family and all that, it's very reminiscent of how the show looks. Like if you remember, the logo for the Batman animated series is just black and you just see the white eyes. It looks very much like that. So definitely picking this up. I think I may have one or two.
And yeah, there's a shit ton of Batman, Catwoman.
Yeah,
man. Just trying to skim through these a little
there's
quick.
a lot of exclusive for this one. I'm just picking up cover A just because I'm getting to a point when there's too many choices. It overwhelms me, and I'm like, the hell with this. I'm just gonna pick cover A. That's it.
So I mean, I'm never really big on. Not big. I respect DC. I love DC. I watch all the movies and things like that. I just, obviously everybody has a different thing. Hey, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
JJW says, passing on that. So
yeah, I mean, look, choices are good, but I think there's a fine line when you're giving like choices, but then when you're bombarding people so many that it kind of frustrates people, and then they're like, all right, shoot, like JJ said, he's just gonna walk away. I think a lot of fans get fed up with all these variants, and it becomes fatiguing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I would say in the last, and correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, obviously you're older. Maybe there's some older people in the chat, right? I'm only going by my experiences. Anytime I say my opinion or things like that, it's just from my experiences. It's not, what people should do. But I think that the variant game, the exclusive game, the reprints, all this is new in the last, I'd say 3 to 5 years. It's just getting like crazy, getting crazy out of hand. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, variants have been around for a while.
Yeah, 100%. But the way they're being collected and the way they're being sought after now is like at its, I think.
For sure. I mean, if you look at previous eras, they might have like themed variants, like for a month, like when Marvel used to do those those Venomized covers, and they'll just do, and they'll have or when Iron Man did that whole Women of Power variant, and that Riri Williams book took off because I know you'd know that. But yeah, I mean,
Riri's the future, people. Riri.
She is. She's one of the young guns that I would definitely look out for her solo covers. But yeah, I mean, look, you're right. Variants have gotten way out of hand as opposed to where they were 5-10 years ago. And I mean, I don't think I'm not going to be like one of those those doom and gloom people that think that variants are going to kill the market. I don't think that's the case. Look,
no.
At the end of the day, consumers will pick what they want to pick, and the market will dictate, where these variants will go. If people look, clearly people are buying these variants for variants to be put out. If people stop buying them, I'm sure studios will start getting the hint. But it's all about that FOMO, right? People want to make sure that they got all the covers so they don't miss out on anything. But I guess to a point where you kind of have to draw the line somewhere.
And that's the thing, man. I don't know. I mean, I guess it saves. It helps me because I'm in silver. Silver and bronze are my expertise. That's where I like to collect. That's where I want to be. That's where I want my money to be. But yeah, it just goes back to collect what you want. But yeah, in today's world, where we are today in comics, the variants are just at its peak. The ratios are at its peak. It's just a different game, and I guess that happens with everything, right? It happens in any hobby that you like, sports, life. It just happens. There's something, and something will take place in the variants probably in 3 to 5 years from now, right? So
yeah, and I'm with JJW. Like, one of my pet peeves on some of these variants is when the cover art has nothing to do with the interior.
Oh,
that definitely does turn me off. For some of these books.
Yeah,
Marvel is a big culprit of that when they do those, like I just mentioned, those theme variants.
Man,
Bigger culprit. They
man.
all do it, but I'm saying Marvel seems to really drive in more.
People got to get fed, right? So,
I suppose, yeah.
right. All right. So this is probably one of my. I was gonna say my funner, but funner is not a word, and I don't want to get the younger people, using words that don't exist. But one of my favorite parts of our, because usually we do it every other Sunday, Monday. This show, but part of this show is that Spec show. I love talking Spec with you guys because I love giving you guys information. I also like to know what you guys think of the Spec. I also like to chat with you guys. So it is always fun and interactive for me. Spec, since you're the guest, I will be polite. Sir, you can go first if you got any spec that you want to give these people.
I really only have one, so
Okay,
I mean,
that's all good.
because I really didn't have much time to think, but I mean, one that kind of stuck out to me, and we've been talking about these ratios a bit during the show, but basically, we know that video game comics have been a hot commodity lately, and some people say that it's a fad that's gonna drop, and some say that's here for the long run. But there's one particular character that I think people should be on the lookout for. It's basically the Sony Gamerverse characters of Spider-Man. We know
Oh,
that 2 years ago, Spider-Man on PlayStation 4 came out, and it was met with a lot of great reviews. I played it, I enjoyed it, I pretty much got all the trophies. I would say it's my favorite comic book theme game since the Batman Arkham series. Um, and the thing is, they released a comic called Spider-Geddon Zero, which is basically the first appearance of the PS4 version of Spider-Man in the comic series. My thing is, we're seeing a lot of these Miles covers, right? With the 1 in 10, with the video game version of Miles Morales front and center.
yeah.
And we know that Sony is planning on doing a sequel for Spider-Man, the original, the PS4 game, because I think it was actually one of the highest selling PS4 games of that year when it got released. Um, it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that these characters will be brought into like a Spider-Verse movie, like Into the Spider-Verse. Same way like how Spider-Man Noir, Peter Porker and the Mech Spider were brought in. Because when you think about it, it's all about cross promotion, right? Sony owns Sony owns PlayStation, and that Spider-Man game was a Sony exclusive. Spider-Man is a Sony property, and they do business with Marvel.
Yep.
It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that one hand washes the other, where Sony would want. Because think about it, if the Spider-Man character in the video game comes into the comics, it brings a bit of exposure to the games and also into the movies. If he comes into the movies,
Yeah,
people will be
absolutely.
curious about the game. Same way, comic readers will probably be into maybe checking out the game if they read the comics with the Spider character. And I don't know, it just seems like the way Sony has plans for that character and how that character is unique, because he has different weapons that the other Spider-Man versions in the Marvel universe doesn't have. He has like a thing called the web bomb, which we never seen before. Yeah, basically it's like some kind of like I don't know how to explain. It's like a bomb that it detonates. It's only on the video game. Uh, I'd have to show you the video. But yeah, my thing is that um, it's. I feel it's a strong possibility that we'll see, especially when Spider-Man is like that property where they play around with multiversal characters of the same entity.
Yeah.
And we know for the fact that the next Into the Spider-Verse, they are planning on introducing more Spider-Verse characters. So, people have been talking about Silk,
Silk is coming. Silk
yeah,
is coming. If you don't,
Silk.
you're crazy.
There was another character that I forgot that they were specking on that is supposed to come. It's kind of fleeing from my mind, but yeah, man, it just it seemed it wouldn't make sense why they wouldn't add that character into the movie, the video game character. I mean. And the thing is, right now it's pretty cheap. You could still find Spider-Geddon Zero for like cover price.
Yep.
And if you want to look at it also even further, the video game version of Miles Morales. Oh, nice. Hey, what's up, Manny? The video game version of Miles Morales, his first cover appearance was.
I love when people do that. They're like, yeah. So the first one was.
The problem with this book though is because it's an all black red cover, it's hard to get a 9.8. I have 2 copies of this, and both of them have a spine tick. So it is what it is. But I mean, yeah, that's my spec. I think it's something that it's a low key spec for sure, and there's nothing very concrete about it in terms of news and all that. But that's the whole thing about getting the jump on before people start, catching on, right? You wanna zig when people are zagging.
You know what's going to be crazy is we didn't even talk our spec together, but I think our spec kind of goes together with Spider-Verse and things like that. First, okay, so hold on. I'm trying to be, very smart with how I drop this. So FaceTime had some spec. He is well, I don't know if it's predicting is the right word, but he's actually got some information saying that I don't know which issue is coming out. I'm trying to be very, I'm trying to protect stuff and whatever. But Face has told me some information, and I want to give him props because he's not here to give it. But he is saying that I guess don't be surprised if Eddie Brock and Venom separate. That is what FaceTime is hearing. That these two things might be separating for a while in upcoming issues and things like that. So that is something to be on the lookout for. When Face told me this, actually, I thought it was funny because I had said to him, I go, you know what? I'm actually got some Venom spec. I'm trying to bring light into some stuff for Venom for tonight. So I think it kind of fits pretty well, and especially with what you were saying. Again, it's just my spec, things like that. Speaking of spec, I will be doing, because tomorrow is the first day of December, I'm going to try to be putting out reviews of the spec of the month. So the 4 weeks that we do, mine, FaceTimes, key issues, and hypers, I'm going to be doing a review show. And we're going to be talking about all the spec that we talked about the month prior. Okay. But we're going to be focused on our spec for today. So that's actually crazy information that FaceTime was saying. Because one of the books that I was kind of looking for is Venom, the finale #3, which is actually the separation of Eddie from the symbiote.
Okay, yeah.
Like I was already looking for it. So then I thought, okay, when he told me that, I was like, okay, wait a minute. That's actually, like, I was already looking for it. So I'm like, okay, wait. So that might be a good tie-in if the story kind of gets hot, if something happens, like we haven't seen that yet. So I think that's pretty interesting. The other book that I was kind of looking for is Venom, the Haunted #1. Now, I know a lot of these covers or a lot of these titles, you guys are probably like, what the hell are you talking about?
You'd have to be like an avid Venom fan to know some of these titles.
Yeah. And if you guys know me, it's Iron Man, Gambit, Venom, Silver Surfer, right? Like those are my guys. Those are my dudes. So yeah, in Venom and Hyper, I'm probably going to need your help pronouncing this, even though we're both immigrants. But Venom #1, Venom the Haunted #1, excuse me. The first app of two things, or the first app of this right here. So I'll bring up the book from Key Collector here. I can't pronounce this.
Xenophage?
There you go.
Yeah,
it is an alien symbiote hunter with what's going on with symbiotes, separation, things like that. Who knows? I mean, he could make an appearance. He could make something. I don't know. Usually I kind of go with my gut. So, this one, I mean, you see it right there, low of $1, high of $10. I mean, I've wasted $10 on worse things than a book that I might be specking on. So it is what it is. Also, a book that I think a lot of people sometimes miss out on, especially those Venom guys. Because let's face it, right? Like I've been a Venom guy. I remember early, I'd say mid '90s, right? That's when I kind of started watching that Spider-Man show. Like back then, Venom wasn't as popular.
You're talking about the animated series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it first came out, Eddie Brock, all that stuff. Like Venom wasn't that popular.
And also,
Venom, like people don't get, like back then it was like, oh, okay, why? Nowadays it's like, oh yeah, of course you like Venom. Like he's super popular, right? So
Venom was portrayed more on the villainy side.
Yeah.
More so than an anti-hero.
Man, I watched on Disney Plus, I watched that Venom thing from that animated series. And even now I'm like, oh my God, it was like so corny, like some of the shit that was going on. I'm like, God, this is bad. But back then when I was a kid, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Like,
I mean, talk about, you just have to read some of the dialogue from the 90s comics. Like, even like, I was reading Lethal Protector recently, and then like the dialogue is stuff that normal people wouldn't say. It's like, hey, watch out, this guy has Olympic level strength.
But even like I was watching the show, and like just like when he's got the black suit and he's like basically destroying Rhino and Shocker, and he's like, Shocker, I will chase you to the ends of the earth and shit. And I'm like, what? Like, just some of this shit was like so corny or whatever, but it is what it is. But
by the way, JJW, I'll answer your question right after Noob's spec, because
yeah, we can talk about that for sure. Another book that I think a lot of people, Venom, talking Venom. I just got 3 books, guys, and then I'll be done with it. So the next book is Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 26. This is the origin Venom meeting Eddie Brock. So I mean, if you're collecting that run, that's another book that would kind of look good on the shelf if you guys are collecting it. Again, I just think there's going to be a lot more Venom stuff moving forward. And when you think about where Venom is, like I think actually, and this ties in with the last 2 books I'm going to talk about, but Gwenom, like I think she's going to come. I think she's going to appear. I think that's going to be a thing because again, you guys have heard me talk about the markability. But I think you also have to pay homage to the first, right? Venom, Eddie Brock, that's the first. You're gonna have to pay homage to that. So I think that's another book.
Actually, it's funny you should mention Gwenom, because in King in Black, there's a 3-issue mini-series called Gwenom versus Carnage, as a tie-in.
Yeah, I think I know which books you're talking about, actually.
Yeah, it's just a 3-issue mini-series on the actual King in Black. Yeah. So.
And then finishing off with Gwenom, I'll bring this up right here, guys. Actually, it's funny because I talked about this a few months ago, and I actually brought it up to Lucy, who I had on my show for Women in Comics. She's usually on Drunken Chat. She's got her own thing now, so definitely go follow her if you don't. But she actually had that Spider-Gwen number 24. And she sold it for about $15. That is the first appearance of Gwen Stacy as Gwenom. That is a big book moving forward. I know that that's a crazy book. It's got about 4 different covers on it.
It's an all black cover.
Yeah, that black cover is the one that you want. Okay. Now be careful because there is, I think it's a 3rd printing. It's the exact same cover, but the spelling is not in white. I think it's a baby blue. So just be careful in that you don't, kind of just get not ripped off, but pay more than what you should for what is a 3rd print instead of the 1st print. But again, I was seeing this book a few months ago at like $200 and thought, shit, I missed out on the possibility of buying the book at $40. So it's one of those regret books.
And it's a nice cover. It's just a nice cover.
Yeah, it's black.
Yeah.
And then you have Guardians of Nowhere variant number 1. That's the first cover appearance. And I give credit to this one because Ultra Maximus was the one that actually spoke about this. I don't know. We're in December as of tomorrow. I think he was talking about this book, the cover appearance, that is. I think back in like August or September, somewhere around there, because a lot of people were thinking that it was Spider-Gwen number 25, when realistically, that's the book that you want to have. Because let's face it, there are people that not chase, but they collect the first cover appearance.
For sure. I mean, it's almost like the next best thing if you can't find the first appearance usually.
Yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, those are just some Venom related books, spec books that I would be on the lookout for. I mean, with Venom, there's a lot of books. I mean, moving forward, you got Venom 9, Venom 7. If I were to pick, go Venom 9. You got Quasar number 6. That's the first Venom outside of Spider-Man. You could probably find that book very cheap if you can. But I mean, if for the Venom collectors, that's probably something that you want. ASM 332. I mean, that's the first time Venom is depicted with a long tongue, things like that. I didn't know. Yeah, I just, somebody had mentioned that book, and I was like, oh, yeah, that's that one. But yeah, just things like that. Just be on the lookout for it because Venom is becoming super popular. I would love to do a Carnage one, but it's
the thing with Carnage. I have because
I'm nervous with it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm nervous.
I mean, the things I usually look for in a character is like if it's a villain. I mean, because usually like as we know, villains tend to be a harder spec than heroes. But the thing with Carnage, he does have that cool factor to him that collectors would want some of his covers. Like what was it? Carnage. Was it? It's a Wonderful Life. Sorry.
I said the movie title. I said Let There Be Carnage.
Let There Be Carnage. Yeah. That's one. And then there was a Carnage Bomb. Those books I know are pretty popular. So I mean, Carnage does have a fan base, but not nearly as big as Venom.
Yeah. Okay, we'll answer this one before we get into Kid Collector's question, and then we're going to go back into that punchline of JJ. So, will ASM 316 continue running?
I think that book, I mean, look.
It's an iconic cover, but...
I think it's going to depend on the grade for that one, for sure. I think if you have a 9.8 or like something in those high grades, I think because that book was highly printed, I think the higher grades are the books that will probably have some right. But even then, I mean, I'm hesitant to say how like that it's going to have like an exponential rise of anything of that sort because we've already seen it kind of top off during the first Venom movie. I don't really see it going even higher when Venom 2 comes out.
I don't either. And speaking of Venom 2, Kid Collector better stack up on the 361 before it blows up.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with this. It's a modern book.
Mm-hmm.
And before you guys, say what you got, I own this book. I have this book. First printing, 9.6 graded. I have it. Here's the problem. I think I fell into the trap because you can find this book anywhere. I think any shop you go to, they have it. This book is everywhere on Kijiji, Craigslist, eBay. Like you go on eBay, you got like 20 pages to browse through. The book is heavily printed, and I just don't think it had like people are thinking that it's going to have the same power as ASM 300. And I know in the chat, Coco was just saying, "Oh yeah, like." It just the biggest sale just happened. 15,000 for ASM 300. I don't think that the Carnage book is going to get
no
anywhere near that. And I'll tell you guys right now what I'm doing. When that trailer drops and there's a visual of Carnage and everyone gets that craziness, I'm selling mine.
Is that your one copy?
Yeah, just one copy.
Okay.
9.6, and I'm gonna be selling it. I don't know. I just don't think it's gonna hold up in the long run, just because of how many. I mean, I'm not trying to offend anybody, but the people that say, "Oh man, no, you got to hold on to that book because in 5 years from now, it's gonna be like up there with ASM 300." I think you're out of your mind if you think that. To be honest, and I hope I'm wrong for the people that keep it, but I just think I'm on the train of selling it when that, and I
The
don't
thing
want
is,
to say the trailer. It's just when that first, visual of what we get Carnage to be. I think that's when people are gonna be like, "Oh my god, fuck, I need to get it," and then that's what I'm gonna do.
yeah, for sure, because it's like that thing when what was it at San Diego Comic-Con when those announcements came for the new MCU properties. People are already on eBay trying to find those issues of like Shang-Chi and like Blade, like right away, like those were flying off eBay. And yeah, I agree. I mean, ASM 361 definitely has its place in terms of value, like for years to come. But in terms of hierarchy, with like all the other Spider books, it definitely won't ever top ASM 300. I think everyone would agree to that.
And I think you also have to look at, okay, what can they do with the character after this? So obviously we're gonna have a Carnage versus Venom. They're gonna fight. I mean, I don't think either of them are gonna die, to be honest with you. So it's just gonna be one of those climactic, like, okay, Carnage gets away, Venom is that anti-good guy, whatever, and then that's it. And then we might see Carnage later on, but like I don't think it's going to be in like a big time role. So
But
I think you're going to be waiting on that book to do anything if you do keep it.
yeah, and the thing is, you have to keep in mind. I mean, um, Carnage, this as a symbiote, doesn't exactly need Cletus Cassidy. I mean, I know they're always linked as
Yeah.
well, like Eddie Brock and Venom. So the symbiote might have a longer shelf life than the actual Cletus Cassidy and Carnage duo.
And I think you see that though in the sales of the books. Like you don't see 344 doing much. That's another book. I can walk into any store and find that book.
Yeah, I bought my 344 for like $15
I
2 years.
think I think I paid $10 for mine. I think Keon paid $5 for his.
And it wasn't even a reader copy. It was actually a really good, decent copy.
Yeah.
So you could definitely find
Um,
it cheap.
yeah. I don't know. The more and more we get later into the year, and people are like, "Oh man, it's coming." You start hearing those people, and it's usually the people that have like 3 to 5 copies of the book, and they're like trying to sell people on the thing. Like, no, no, keep it, man, keep it. I don't know. I bought mine at a really good price. I've already seen a profit in mine. Like if I were to sell mine today, I would make a profit. But I just don't think long term it makes sense to keep it because I could just make profit and then just go buy a lower end graded book of it if I
Yeah,
wanted to.
if it's and that's another thing. Like if you're not like in love with the character and you don't mind a lower grade, like yeah,
Yeah.
that's your prerogative. I mean, I have a copy. Mine's a raw copy that I bought for $60 2 years ago. I mean, only it was 60 because there was like a tear at the bottom. But again, I bought that book just because I just wanted it in my collection. I wasn't planning on getting great. It's just one of those books that as a Venom and an ASM fan, I just wanted it in my PC.
Yeah.
So, and I wasn't collecting back in the 90s, so I missed out when that book was like cover price.
90s, the era of overprinted books, right?
Yeah, yeah, man. You, I,
Um,
it's funny because I have friends that don't collect comics anymore, but they have that issue in their collection because they were collecting it when I wasn't.
Buy Green Lantern keys. That is
Yeah,
not something you hear a lot.
but I agree
But
with it.
before we get into Green Lantern, I do want to give the floor to Mr. JJW because he asked earlier on what we think about Punchline's future.
Mhm. Listen, I say you kind of have to look at it from a business standpoint, and with DC, they realize that Punchline is getting a lot of fervor and a lot of hype from the media and from fans. So any company, DC, Marvel, Image, IDW, if they know there's a character that people are going to buy into, they're going to put the resourcing and marketing behind that character. We've already seen it with the ton of exclusive variants for Punchline and her own one shot that just came out. And from what I'm told, I think Tinian or somebody mentioned that there was plans for Punchline to be written into the Batman storyline, you know, in future issues. So, and plus, also, I think you mentioned this. Harley Quinn she's been around for a while, that they need to start getting some fresh blood into their DCU.
I have said that. Yep.
Yeah, so I think they're just gonna like Punchline definitely has potential, and it's one of those things where if they know that she's gonna be like a cash cow, they're gonna milk that cow dry. My only fear is I hope it doesn't get to the point where it's gonna be so in your face that people are gonna get tired of Punchline. To the same way, like, look, I like Venom, but even I was getting a bit fatigued by all the Venom variants and all the Venom exclusives that I was seeing. So it's that delicate balance, man. That DC knows that they have a hot property on their hand. They just have to be careful how they expose her to the public. But I
Yeah.
do think the Punchline definitely has staying power in DC, and also from a crossover point of view, like you could see a lot of people just dressing up as Punchline for Halloween and all that. It's
Man, that's what I talk about with markability. That's why I've said, and Hyper, I know I'm repeating myself. People in the chat, some of you, I know you guys tune in. I might repeating myself, but I do see some new faces, and I will say, DC, the way they do Harley Quinn right now is because it's marketable. What sells? Markability. If they can keep a character and sell socks of the character, cups. I'm looking around my house where like anything that you can put the character on. The fact that even now, 3 years later, I think 4 years later, since the first time we've seen her in Suicide Squad, little girls, teenage girls, adults, older ladies are still dressing up as Harley Quinn. There's your marketability right there, right? So and I want to throw this out. I'm kind of dropping a video because I just got one of my CGC book. I got 6 books back,
nice.
and 4 of them are actually from one genre. And actually, you guys might have heard me talking about this. If not, you guys could maybe Google what I'm about to say. But Maggie Roby, I always butcher her name, so I hope I got that right. But the girl that plays Harley Quinn, she actually bought rights and will be directing. I believe she will be directing
Tank Girl.
Tank Girl. So I don't know how long she's going to be doing this Harley Quinn stuff. I mean, she's already been in Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad 2 is coming out. She's done Birds of Prey. Like, I don't know. I think she wants to kind of go out and do some other stuff. So I don't know how long she's going to be. With that said, what could be a possibility? Well, you got Punchline. You got Poison Ivy. Things like that. I personally think we see Poison Ivy before we see Punchline.
Yeah, because the thing is, even though Punchline is very popular, they still need to flesh out that character. Mm-hmm. She doesn't have too much to go on in terms of history. And you're right, DC has a lot more characters that they could dip into their movie universe before they even think about putting Punchline. And I think it's going to be too much too soon, anyways, if they do that. I think it needs to be a bit of a slow burn with Punchline.
Yeah, and I think that's the not issue, because it's not an issue. I mean, the characters hit. It's just I think a lot of people are falling in love with the idea that, okay, these characters, Black Winter comes to mind, right? Virus, even though now we know is probably dead Spec, things like that. But just these characters that come out, people fall in love with them so quick, and then like by the following week, they're like, "Oh man, it's going to be a movie. Oh, it's going to be a movie, right?"
I never agreed with that. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't. I don't know. Like, do I think Punchline has a future in a movie? I do. I think they can do it.
Yeah.
Do I see that happening in 5 years' time? I don't. Really,
yeah.
I don't. It's just hard for me to believe that they would do that. Even if it was a Marvel character, I really don't. If it was just anything, like I just don't think they would.
Like an animated series is one thing, but if you're talking about live action, that's a totally different beast. And because you have to keep in mind, as a comic community, we embrace Punchline, but we don't know how mainstream she is yet. So you have to think about it from the casual perspective also. You can't throw out characters that don't have that much of a history. If she would be I wouldn't doubt that.
Yo, that should be like a t-shirt right there. JJ, I'll give you the rights to that right there. You can have that, but that should be a t-shirt, brother. Oh man, that's actually fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right. Well, guys, that's it for us. Hyper, do you have anything going on your Instagram? Anything you want to let the people know about before we kind of take off?
Yeah, man. So since last week, I've been running a 1K contest giveaway on my IG channel. It's hyper.combo.comics right there on the handle. The contest is running till December 5th, so this coming Saturday. The rules are all there. I mean, obviously, you have to be a follower of mine and also a follower of another retailer that I'm partnering up with called KG Gaming, who was gracious enough to give me a prize for this contest. So the actual prizes are Venom 25 to 30 and the free comic book day issue. So basically, that's the full Venom Beyond story arc. So that's right before the King in Black the mini series starts. So it's a perfect place, I guess, to read Venom. And also, you're also going to be getting a PS4 copy of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So yeah, the winners will get both, and the drawing will probably be done on December 6th, day after the contest ends. And
So
that's it.
fast. So you're doing it fast. Hey, that's still a lot of good books. He's thrown in that freebie too. I know a lot of people are collecting that one because they're sending it off to CGC and they want to get that pre-COVID citation on the slab. So that's not a bad book to have. That's dope. Speaking of giveaways, I know he's not here to talk about it, but please make sure you guys go check out Mr. Key Issues. He has a giveaway going on right now. Definitely check that out. He's always got some solid books. Does FaceTime have a giveaway? No, I think he's done his, right?
I think he's done his giveaway. I think his
Yeah,
500.
he's done it. But nevertheless, please go follow my man, the legend, Mr. Information, Mr. FaceTime. All right. I'm finally, I'm finishing a reno in my move, so I'm back to putting out normal content. So I got a giveaway coming up that I will be announcing probably Friday or the weekend, somewhere around there. I got a video dropping. I got 2 videos dropping. So keep that in mind. We're going to be doing Comic Talk tomorrow. Should be fun. So make sure you guys tune in for that. And then, next week we'll be back at it with our new comic book day in Spec and Comic Talk as well. We're getting into that Christmas time. So we will be talking Christmas wish list, things like that. We'll probably have, it's the holidays, so I probably won't be doing anything in that weekend of Christmas and New Year's. So we'll probably have one of those shows where we have a bunch of people and we just have fun. So stay tuned for that. We got a few people. I know he's not in the chat right now, but we've spoken. I know I got Mr. Burke.
Nice.
Burke wants to come on. He wants to join. I got a fun little show idea. I'll give you a little hint. It's basically DC versus Marvel that we're doing. So I figured, you know what? Let's have the king of DC come out and hang out with us. So I'm going to try to get some Burke in here. I'm going to try to get Panda, things like that. We're going to keep it fun and live, okay? So, guys, again, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to sub everybody in the chat. Help each other out. Support the community. Grow the community. And, yeah, we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. We'll have fun tomorrow for a little bit. And then, yeah, that's it for me, guys. So, again, thanks for tuning in.
Take care, guys. Peace.